everyone, this is Siana Catherine. How are you all doing today? A little bit of energy, I would say. All right, so you all know me as a DJ and a music producer, right? So today you're gonna learn a little bit about me and my life journey, and probably how I got to here and how I started. So, as an artist, I get to perform for like close to 50,000 of crowd, but also sometimes there could be like no people at all, right? So how I handle this, how I grew up, so it's pretty much all on that. So if you all got some questions on it, we can do this later. Okay. So let me begin with how I started. As a young girl growing up, for me, it was like, how to say, I grew up in a very countryside with very less money to live, foster family, and there's not much of an time for education, where I had to do like a lot of part-time jobs. So growing up was like pretty difficult for me. Even to get a meal or education. And my foster family wasn't that great with me. It was more of a very physical abuse kind of situation, right? So pretty much every day was this for me while growing up. Don't think it's a downer, but we'll get to the upside, right? That's when I decided, man, this is not the way I want to live. This is not my life has to be. I was so much into music, I really wanted to do something all the time. So I think I took all these things into my hands, right? I started doing multiple part-time jobs at the age of 16. I started going to the clubs, practicing there, because I couldn't afford a laptop then. At one point, I saved enough to get a laptop, learn everything on YouTube. I did every show possible. I was sleeping only for 4 hours a day because I was doing multiple jobs. I was performing every show I got. It didn't matter what they paid me. I wanted that experience. So while I started, everyone wanted this. When they see you as a female artist, they all look at you as just, you know, an eye candy. Nobody cares that you have a talent, right? I used to dress up very much like a tomboy, so they used to tell me, like, you have to dress like a girl to get shows. But that's not what I want. But I had to, right? That's what I did. But once I started getting shows, I started showing up like what my mixes are, what my edits are, what my mashups are. So this is what people started liking. Then I started becoming the who I am. I can dress what I want, because right now, all you want is my music. Nobody cares what I dress like, right? I can be myself. So once you get to this point, when a fame begins, when you start getting money, this is where all your haters jump in. When you're struggling, there's nobody with you. Trust me. Literally, there'll be no one. So this is where everything starts with you. Once you start getting fame, there are hundreds of people who try to tell you, you're wrong, you're not this, you cannot be this. So fighting these kind of failures is where you struggle with. So there was this time I would just sit and cry when I would read all these hate comments. So many haters. There were like multiple hate pages on me. My own friends were on those pages. Right? This was the saddest part. I started giving up. I'm like, man, is this how it is? Is this all the support you get? All the hard work you do, nobody cares, right? Nobody gives a damn, like, how much you worked, how much you struggled to get here. So I stopped circling with friends who are not real friends, you know? You don't need that kind of friends. You can actually be yourself, you can actually prioritize yourself, have a healthy lifestyle, and manifest what you want. How do you actually manifest what you want? So it all starts with cut down all these friend circles who are always wasting your time. Nothing good can happen from that. Always have friends who are with you, who's talking a little bit of business, a little bit about future, not only for the next weekend, right? If your friend's telling you this is wrong and this is right, they're some of your friends. If your friends are with you only to make a weekend plan or a vacation plan, that's not the friends you want to hang out with. And when it comes to social media, other people's opinion, how do you control that? Mainly, the best way for a hater is to don't give them a single reaction, right? But sometimes you have to look at it. Is this a hater? Like, he hates you as a person, or he just jealous of you, or he really got some good points, you know? If you really got to take a stress on your mind, make sure you take it well, because if it's something wrong with you, and if this person pointing that out, you can actually go and fix it. You don't have to sit there and stress about it. There are many times people actually gave me feedbacks in a very rude People gave me feedbacks in a very rude way, which I took it in my heart, but sometimes I calm down, I think about it. Maybe this person was right. I can actually work on this. So 80% of the time, when I thought they were a hater, sometimes people actually had pointed out a right thing where I actually worked on, correct? So try to, you don't have to take haters as haters. You can sometimes stay calm, look at it. Is this right? Is this something I can change in my life? Right? You can always go through that. But stressing will take you nowhere. And how did I get to be Siana Catherine? Not just like any other DJ. How did I just get to be here? While everyone were playing just EDM music and house music, I get to go on stage, and I was told, you have to play this in 124 BPM itself, because this is what my crowd likes. But for me, in my head, I'm the artist. I'm supposed to read the crowd. I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. You cannot tell me it's all to be pre-planned before, because my energy, my music is completely different. So I would go on stage, I would play what I'm good at, which was dubstep and hardstyle, and the crowd would completely go rage. And people started knowing me just for this, because mainstreaming hardstyle in India, it was so difficult for me. There were so many promoters who would catch fire with me, don't play this, don't play this, but end of the day, all the crowds I perform hardstyle for, this is all so unique for them, they loved it. End of the day, it came to a point, this is all they know me for. So sometimes you really got to take that risk in life, correct? And I'm not sure how many of your musicians here, if you actually know. It's sometimes looks very colorful on social media, but end of the day, while we are traveling, we get no sleep, multiple flights, and we are always meeting different people. You never get to meet your friends, you never get to be at one part of the city. So it's not easy to maintain your mental health, and so much going on social media, and so much with record labels. You got to keep making music. You got to keep up, especially now, you got to keep up with so much trend. And like some 1,000 social media apps, you gotta keep posting. This is so stressful. But something I understood, how do I manage all of this? Every day, no matter what, if I'm traveling, I'm not traveling, I make sure I gotta wake up early, I have a healthy food, I talk to my friends, always check on my friends what they are up to, keep them updated, and have a healthy lifestyle, you know? It doesn't matter what age you are in. You can always actually start from the beginning. You could be 18, you could be 40, you could be 50. Once you fix your lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, little bit of meditation, a little bit of yoga, trust me, half of your problems is done. And you don't have to always look at what other people thinking about you. How many people would go to sleep thinking, this is what he did that day? None of you, right? So it's pretty much like that. When you're going to bed, you're thinking about your own problems. So that's pretty much how is it. So the more you think about others, the less you gotta be by yourself. Then, do we still have time? We do, right? Cool. So, now coming to the biggest music festivals, how I got into it. Like I told you, it was really hard for me to connect with major record labels or music festivals. So I would fly to any place. I would save up money just to fly to these places. So I could socialize, network, connect. I could tell them, I'm an artist, I want to be part of this. There's so many people told me, no, you cannot perform for these kind of places. This festival is not for you. People made fun of me, they laughed at me. And there are agencies who actually stole my entire idea. They created entire different artists with my idea. Did I take that as a failure? No. Because if I can't come up with one idea, I can come up with hundreds. That's what being original is, correct? From being nobody, starting with nothing, and being a highest paid artist in the country is something else, which takes a lot of pressure, especially now with social media. You all have a very good, opportunity to start. And when it comes to education, I would say, this is what I tell all my friends. If you all have a shelter and your parents paying your bills and giving you an education, giving you food, don't complain. It's good to have a hobby, right? It's good to have a hobby. You're probably interested in something else, but while your parents giving you something, don't say no to that. Not everybody get to be where you are. There are some people who really want this so bad. And you might think, okay, look at most of these people who have made it, correct? But that's like 10% of the story. 90% haven't made it. But sometimes even your professions or your hobbies, your interests could change no matter what age you are. But having a good education, having good family connection, these are very important. Do not forget that. So don't complain, this is what my mom made me do, this is what my dad made me do. Sometimes maybe these people have a lot of experience in life. Because the world is so crazy. When you're out there with no support, they will always try to destroy you. No matter you're a person without anything, you're a person with fame or money, there are people always behind you. So when you start something, never tell people. Too many opinions, too many suggestions will destroy them completely. So if you gotta be a very unique person, try to create that like in your personal space, keep it a secret, right? Maybe, you never know, one of you could be a very famous person one day, right? I hope my story actually helps you all. This was a very short story. I try to keep up with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.